The salvation of Africa is very, very far. The development and the transformation of Africa is very, very far, because us as Africans, we're not understanding. We don't get it. We just don't understand what we are supposed to do in order to change and transform our continent, in order to build ourselves to be a better and a greater continent. What we do best is believe that we are still colonized. We have all these forces manipulating us. So we need to expose them. We need to fight that battle to decolonize our systems and whatsoever. And that's why we still employ the same tactics that we employed when we were fighting for political freedom, for political independence, which we already got. But we don't understand that when it comes to economics, our economic problems require economic solutions, not the political route that we are going by complaining, by saying it out there, colonization is bad. What we need to do is find economic solutions to solve our problems, and I want you to understand one thing, because all of you, I understand, and I know why you do what you do. Kind of content that you create out there, complaining, talking about how bad this is and how bad that is. I get it. That's what people want to hear. It affirms something in the African brain that, okay, for sure, I'm a victim. It's not my fault. It's their fault. Okay, that's why people like to watch that stuff, and it becomes a feedback loop, and you keep on creating the same thing over and over again and saying the same thing over and over again. But that's not gonna change anything. That is the reality of life. If you are a student of geopolitics, if you look at the world as a whole, and look at how these powerful countries are working, and how much they're willing to do in order to make sure that they maintain their hegemony and the control of the world, you would understand that complaining and all these tweets and posting and then these videos, all this nonsense that we do, it's useless. We are wasting your data and other people's data as well. Your enemy is working 24/7 like a clock, and they are 200 steps ahead of you, and make sure that you remain where you are, and you remain poor, so that they can benefit, they can maintain their dominance and their control on you. But you think and you hope that as you're sitting right there, posting a little video complaining about how bad this is, you think it matters. It doesn't. What wins this battle is strategy. You need to outsmart and outcompete your enemy. That is the only thing. When it comes to war and when it comes to battle, what wins the battle is the strategy, not complaining, not trying to take the moral high ground, instead complaining, pointing fingers, look at them. That doesn't fucking mean anything. Nobody cares and nobody's listening to you. You think their intelligence communities that they have assigned to your continent, and make sure that when it comes to them, there is no morality. They don't care about all those things that we talk about. If they have to fund the war, if they have to fund the terrorist group in order to further and attain whatever they want to achieve, they will do so. They don't care. What would change the situation of Africa is strategy. We need to outsmart our enemy. And luckily for us, we have someone to learn from. We have the Chinese to learn from. And look at what they do. Look at how they are fighting. They are smart. They are trying as hard as possible. They're working around the clock to outsmart the enemy. It's about strategy. It's not about complaining, moaning. Oh no, look, poor us. Look at what they took from us. Look at what they did from us. Who cares? It happened. Does it make me sad? Yes, it makes me sad to find out that 1.8 million black people died in the ocean before they even reached where they were going to be enslaved. That is bad and that is sad. But unfortunately, that is in the past. In today's world, if we want to win in today's world, we need strategy. We need to outsmart the enemy. This is a battle. For us to win battle, we need to read the art of war so that we can have a strategy, a smart strategy, like what the Chinese are doing, planning ahead, thinking what would the world be in 10 years, and what industries do we need to get into so that we can out-compete everybody else, so that we can dominate that. Look at what they did with manufacturing. The Chinese are mining from the moon. You are sleeping. While you are sleeping, you're still complaining about all this nonsense. The Chinese are looking for minerals on the moon. Africa can't even make a needle. and but you busy telling me how good Africa has been. Look at the pyramids. We built the pyramids. You don't even have evidence of who built the pyramids, but you just want to own it so that you can feel good about yourself. That doesn't help anybody. We need to wake up and we need to act. We need to work hard in order to outsmart and outcompete our enemy. That is the only way to win. It's not about complaining. I don't care about what happened to us and colonization. That is bad, but it is in the past. We need to work hard in order to transform our own selves. The enemy is not sleeping. The enemy is way, way ahead of you. 200 steps ahead of you, and you're still complaining and you're still whining. You think you're going to win that way? The time for Africa will come. The time for Africa will come. It will never come if you're not smart.